Hi there, and welcome to the Cult of Cinema. So, what we're going to do tonight is something a bit different. We are going to be talking about 80s horror, and there is actually a kind of a cool reason for that because there is a new documentary coming out on 80s horror in, I think, January, and I kind of want it a lot. I've seen the first two, and I definitely want to see the third one. I actually have iced tea today rather than regular tea. So, if you're there, say hi. And thank you for everybody who's hit the like button already. I didn't even have to say anything. That's fantastic. We have a tier list, and there's a way that we're doing this. Hey, Roy Waffles, welcome, man. So, for those that don't know, we started a new segment up on our Crimson Cult on our Patreon, and that is the Horrorcast, where I go on and talk about, I review things, talk about movies, talk about horror books, all that type of stuff. And actually, my better half is going to be in a Horrorcast with me, a live one. So, if you're a Crimson Cult member, keep an eye out for that. Hey there, Dave. Hey there, Eddie. Fun News isn't on this list. We are doing a couple of different lists. So, what I did was I decided to break this up into a couple different ones. So, what I did, I took 25, well, I Googled 80s slasher, and then I just picked 25 at random, knowing, making this, that I could not choose more than one of a franchise. So, hey there, Strangely Welcome, man. I could only have one of the franchise. Santa Arcadia, you're only not for long. Well, check it out. I'll get it. I'll learn English one of these days, or yeah, I'll try and learn French. Can't learn English. So check it out later if you can, and we will be doing a second part to this over on the Crimson Cult. So this is tier list number one. For those that follow me on Twitter, I already put out the tier list for you guys, so you guys can actually look at the tier list and you can play along with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. I got 25 choices there, and we are going to look at that. But first, let's look at the thing that inspired it. And before I get asked, no, I never received anything from the In Search of Darkness. I could only wish to be in Search of Darkness. It was a dream of mine since the Search of Darkness came out. But I'm an 80s horror guy, so I am the 80s horror guy. Let's look at what's coming out, uh, what I really want to get, and then we're going to go into the tier list. Yeah, they're warm welcome, man. But so yeah, what inspired this tonight was this right here. So for those that aren't aware, and I'm sure pretty much everybody is because we're all into the horror stuff right here. In Search of Darkness was an 80s horror kind of slasher style horror documentary, and it did so well that they made In Search of Darkness Part 2, and they're finishing it off with a trilogy of In Search of Darkness Part 3, featuring interviews with 70 horror experts and icons, come with 4 hours of additional bonus content. You can buy the regular edition if you've got the first one already, but this is kind of what I want down here, the trilogy bundle. I want this more than anything. This is probably one of my biggest wants right now. It has all 3 In Search of Darkness documentaries. I don't have any of them yet. Rest in peace, Ted White is right, and that's a good reason to have be doing this list here tonight too. For 119 US, which is actually not bad, you get In Search of Darkness Part 1, 2, and 3 on Blu-ray with a slipcase and a 3-disc trilogy slipcase to go slipcover to put them all in. 3 posters. You get your name in the credits, a membership card, a digital copy of the film, digital soundtrack, and 4+ hours of extras that that are on the disc that actually come digitally. So that's my dream. This is this is super amazing, and this inspired this video tonight. So you can thank the In Search of Darkness crew for inspiring this 80s slasher video. So if you are a slasher fan and a 80s horror fan, you kind of got to have these. It goes without saying. But let's go to the tier list. The 25 slashers that we're doing for the very first tier list right here are, and in no particular order because we haven't ranked them yet. Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark is a unique little slasher film, almost like a psychological thriller, with Martin Landau, Jack Palance, and the incomparable Donald Pleasance. It also has, as the psychiatrist in a bit of a neat little twist, Murdoch, not Murdoch. Yeah, it's, the guy in the A Team that pretends to be crazy, and you always got to get him out of jail. Anyways, he plays psychiatrist. I chose the first Nightmare film for this one right here, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors is by far and large considered. Oh, Eddie, it's a great pickup, man. Guys, oh, I forgot it was, yeah, in honor of Erin Moran's passing. She's still missed, man. And that's a great little film. Uh, yeah, I think Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is probably the best made of all the Nightmare on Elm Street films. No matter which one you like best, everybody's got their own opinion on whether they want like the first one or say they like the really meta one. But I think objectively, Part 3 is definitely the best made and probably the most commercial. Think of Part 3 in Nightmare on Elm Street if you're a Star Trek fan of like Star Trek 4, where everybody likes it. We had to put in April Fool's Day. Mad Dog Murdoch, thank you, man. So it is Murdoch. Hey, Jesse, welcome, man. Yo. And so we have April Fool's Day here. It is a classic with some great actors in here, including Clayton Rohner, Deborah Foreman, and the great Amy Steele, one of my favorite Friday the 13th Final Girls. We also have here the slasher with a mix of comedy, and that is Cheerleader Camp. I actually had the poster to Cheerleader Camp on my wall in my first place in college. I had moved in with three girls and a guy, a friend of mine, and the first thing I did was put Cheerleader Camp on my wall. Oh, Dwight Schultz, there you go. I wouldn't have thought Dwight. See, I didn't have the name in my head at all. I had like the Murdoch name, but I wasn't sure it was right. And next up is one that I debated putting on here, but it is definitely slashery enough to be a slasher, and that is the movie Curtains. It is a Canadian film that is a mixture of a slasher and a giallo put together, but it's one that doesn't get enough notice and people don't talk about it enough, so it's definitely on this film right here, on this list right here. Next up is the classic Stage Fright, which people tend to mistaken for a giallo, but Stage Fright is pretty much the standard, straightforward slasher film. Uh, just because it's made in Italy, guys, doesn't make it a giallo. Stage Fright is one of those really, really, really good ones that I enjoy, and it freaked the hell out of my better half. She saw it when she was a kid, couldn't remember the name of it, and on one of our dates, I surprised her with the movie and probably terrified her and scarred her at the same time. For Friday the 13th, in honor of Ted White, and because it's just such a damn good Friday the 13th movie, we have Joseph Zito's, and this is not the last time his name's going to be on here, by the way, Friday the 13th, the final chapter. The first three Friday 13th films were fantastic little films. The fourth one put all the good stuff from the first three and made it really, really good. With the next one on our list here, we've got Graduation Day. There's a reason 88 Films put this early into their, maybe I think it was number one, in their Slasher Classics collection because it definitely is a slasher classic, and Patch McKenzie is one of my favorite and most unique Final Girls that's out there. So I had to put Graduation Day on here. There's a couple of things we can talk about, especially casting wise along the way. For Halloween, I know you guys expect me to put Halloween 2 on here. That would have been like the pretty much the given. And I do love Halloween 2, especially the nurse in the hot tub sequence. But my favorite rewatchable 80s Halloween film is actually Halloween 4. I really love Danielle Harris in the film. And I just love the way that the original Evil Takes Shape is put there. You've got great taste in there, Katie. I'm just going to put that out there right now. I'm following this up with a slasher film that just hits the cusp of the 80s because it is done in 1980 with a very, very early portrayal from Tom Hanks in the He Knows You're Alone. It's a slasher that's out killing brides or brides to be. Followed this up with, again, another underrated one with Linda Blair in Hell Night. Exorcist, great film. Hell Night, I like it better. That's my hot take for tonight. Follows up the late 80s slasher film. I want to put something kind of fun and unique and kind of cheesy and gory on there. So I thought Intruder. Hey there, Jay. Welcome, man. Would be the perfect choice for something like that. So Intruder hits the list. After Intruder, what we got here? We got Maniac Cop, another late 80s slasher film. The only Maniac Cop to be in the 80s, actually. The Maniac Cop 2 and 3 were done in the 90s. I thought about putting Maniac on here, but I'm saving that for another list. Because remember, this is part 1, the 80s slasher list. Followed this up with My Bloody Valentine. I'm going to have to get my cousin to get those pictures from me, like some film of Sydney Mines, and send them to me. Because the week that I was going to do it, all the power went. She's the oldest final girl in slasher film. Hey there, Tyler. Welcome, man. Always good to have you. If I did a recent ranking, I think I did it on in the Crimson Cult, so I'm pretty sure you saw it there, Stanley Arcadia. Definitely check it out. Let me know what you think. Next up is one starring Australian actress Rachel Ward, and it is Night School. It's just one of those that I've always really enjoyed. I grabbed the Warner Archives DVD the second that I could, and I just wanted to put this one on there tonight. And we got Dana Kimmel. She didn't. Friday 13th Part 3 didn't make it on here, but Sweet 16 did, which, in my opinion, is probably. I'm not sure if it's better than Friday the 13th Part 3, but for her, I think it's a better film for her. That has, as opposed to her character in Friday the 13th Part 3. I had to put on the 80s slasher film Prom Night, one of the, I guess, Leslie Nielsen serious roles, and we got Scream Queen Jamie Lee Curtis here because we didn't put her in Halloween 2 because that one didn't make the list this time around. We also put in Silent Night, Deadly Night, the first one. I tinkered and with putting on the second one, but I wanted to go with the OG. It's just so uniquely done, and I really do love that film. Sleepaway Camp, again, I went between this one and Part 2. Part 2 might make it on Part 2 of this list, but we went Sleepaway Camp this time around because when Fliss Rose, I really enjoy her, and I think the movie is just such a cool cult camp classic. She got because of Sweet 16. Well, Sweet 16 is a good film. I love the mystery within that one. We follow this up with the only out-and-out comedy on this one, the one that lampoons and satirizes slasher movies better than any other one has ever done. We've seen things like Scary Movie come out. We've seen Saturday the 14th. Student Bodies is the film that to this day is still the best satire of a slasher film ever. Like, there's nothing can even compare to it. That includes Class Reunion. We followed it up with The Dorm That Dripped Blood, otherwise known as Pranks. It's probably one of the most nihilistic slashers on this one here. It's got a dark, dark ending, and it's going to fit in with another one on this list, but I just really like this film. By the way, neither film on this list here is a bad film. We're just going to be ranking them as best as we can for the list to see what we're going to put on top. S, of course, is, top the list, top, as good as it gets type of thing. We follow that up with the other Joseph Zito film. I told you his name was going to be on there just once. He did The Prowler. That's the movie that got him Friday the 13th Part 4. And some people consider this to be a little bit slow, but I think it is out and out perfection. I love The Prowler. One I missed there when I was going along is House on Sorority Row. There was a remake called Sorority Row, which actually I did enjoy overall, but House on Sorority Row has always been one of my favorite slasher films. It just has a fantastic cast, including Eileen Davidson, who'd gone to play, I think it's Ashley in Young the Restless, and many characters in Days of Our Lives. And last but not least, because we haven't even ranked him yet, is the Slumber Party Massacre. And yes, we went with number one because remember, this is the first of these. The second of these here list is going to be popping up in the Crimson Cult probably tomorrow because we did the horror cast today. Why is there an F tier? So basically, the way it's done is so we in the tier list. I didn't decide. You can make up your own like rankings, right? So I just left them as they are. So S tier, that means that's the best. That is like top of the row. A is great. It means it's a really great slasher film. B, we're hitting into good territory. C is it's okay. Oh, Sorority House Massacre, fun. We're gonna get those in the '90s ones. And D is it's a one-time watch. So I'm gonna rank these, but I'm gonna give you guys a chance to rank along with me, give your thoughts, and if you've got your computer in front of you, or maybe an iPad, and you've clicked on that link, you can make your own ranking too. And if you do make your own ranking, I said it on my Halloween one. Nobody's took me up on it yet, but please, if you do make one of these tier rankings, tag me in it and tag Tiermaker because they're the guys to do this stuff. Without Tiermaker, none of us would be able to make any of this stuff. And tag In Search of Darkness because again, they inspired this video. And I would like them to know who I am. There you go. All right. So I really don't know where to start. There's so many good films on here. And the only way I can think of doing this is because this isn't like a ranking as in like all these, for me, like all of these could be on the top two tiers overall. So what we're going to do right now is you're going to throw one out there and we're gonna switch around. You guys mention one of the titles on here, and I'll rank it. After everything is ranked, I'll put them in numerical order from number one, right from number 25, right up to number one, which will be the best. Image Comics, man, I was around Tyler when Image was born. It was a glorious time. Comic book artists were rock stars then. So we have so many good ones on here. Does anybody want to throw one out there? Or even throw out a ranking for one of these films? Prom Night. That's a good start. Prom Night is both. Um, it's kind of it's a really good, but it's hard rank. What would you rank Prom Night? Like you're putting Prom Night somewhere. Would you put that in an S, A, or B category? I don't think anything here is going to go lower than a B, which is good. There's a lot of Canadian on here, deceptively though. You you may not realize it, but I actually did that on purpose. I put in a few Canadian films around here. So we do My Bloody Valentine next, Tyler. But first off, we got to do Prom Night. Prom Night is a Jamie Lee Curtis film. It's a slasher. It is a bit of a slow burn. I'm not gonna lie. When they remade Prom Night, I made it into like kind of a PG-13 like style film, and everybody got super upset because like said, "How dare they do this to? Isn't this a hard R? How dare they do this to Prom Night?" And I thought, "Have you seen the original Prom Night?" Because it's a good film. but I don't know if I make it a great film. So it'll go right there in the good category for right now. Prom Night is a fun film, and hey, how can you not love a movie that has a a bad guy that has not just a black mask, not just a black mask, no, a glittery black mask, because disco, baby. It's the dying days of disco. Tyler mentioned Blind Bloody Valentine from 1981. This is a favorite of mine. This is another Canadian film, by the way, guys. It was actually made in the near the area where I used to live, actually just before I moved here to Marrakech. So it was made in Sydney Mines, which took the place of Valentine's Bluff. Valentine's Bluff, really, really cool. Um, it has a great cast. What makes My Bloody Valentine kind of stand out from the pack is that My Bloody Valentine's characters and cast and overall storyline does tend to be a bit more real than you'll see in some films. These aren't stock players. These aren't tropes per se. And some of the guys that you think would be lesser or probably like joke characters in any other film was were fantastically done in this. So My Bloody Valentine is going to great, and it may even go to a top list. Prowler. Prowler is a classic from Joseph Zito. It is a slow burn. Hey, Marco, welcome, man. That's been pretty fun tonight. We're doing like a live ranking for the 80s slasher list. I was going through trying to figure out what I was going to do tonight, actually. And I looked at the Burning's not here tonight, Tyler, not on this list. Um, and I was looking at the In Search of Darkness like documentary trilogy, and said I really want this. So this came out of it. So there we go. But Prowler, I really like the Prowler. So the Prowler is going to go in the A category for me. I know some people would probably put that in into the B. A different beer, yeah. Yeah. So you are Senator Katie, are you saying that Moosehead beer could not be in a U.S. version of Prowler? They'd have like what? Oh, God, what's that beer that's in so many U.S. shows? Um, I had it too. Prom Night slow burn, but love the title. Yeah, the title sign for Prom Night is awesome at it. We will get to a time when we do Lovecraft movies. Don't worry about that. You can't put Prowler on. I know you're not a fan of Prowler, Craig. Welcome, by the way. I did forget to tag you, but for the next one, we're hitting because nobody said one yet. Throwing it there, guys. Because the idea tonight is for you guys to throw out the title, put me on the spot, make me rank it, and at the end of it, I'll do a ranking, overall like greatness ranking. I don't know. Moosehead was definitely easy to get. Same Labatt's. Labatt's blue and later the light stuff, but nobody likes that. I'm Canadian. We don't like light beer. Sleepaway Camp. Thank you, Antoine, and welcome, by the way. So Sleepaway Camp is here, and I really did dig Sleepaway Camp. I thought it was a really well done one. What really makes Sleepaway Camp stand out are the kills in Sleepaway Camp and the camp. It's the K and C, the kills in camp, Sleepaway Camp. Uh, we got some questionable choices with Don't Wear Summer. Okay, but we'll do Summer Party Massacre next. And by the way, guys, you have not checked out the New World Pictures podcast. Please do so because it's awesome. It's on my list of podcasts that I have. No, Fuji or John Bava, not for slasher films. They usually go towards that. And remember, Marco, this is the first of maybe two to three that I'm going to do with these. So with Sleepaway Camp being chosen next, where do we put Sleepaway Camp? I do love this film, and I love Felissa Rose, and yeah, that ending. It is a bit controversial. It could get it good there. Remember the thing. that until I actually put these here in like numerical order, everything can change. We'll put Sleepaway Camp in the great list for right now. I went. I thought of it good because at Sleepaway Camp 2, I might actually like a bit better. I'm not gonna lie. Pamela Springsteen is really good, though I do know when I was writing films that I wanted to write a film for Felissa Rose and Tiffany Shepis because I really like those actresses. We'll get to the '90s hard. Don't worry, and we'll do a Carpenter one down the road. So we had Sleepaway Camp, and there was another suggestion too. I think wasn't there? No, we don't have another one yet. So shoot out another title. The Burning's not on this list. There's going to be more than one of these lists. I remember everything can change up until the last minute. That's why you got to watch these here till the last minute, because these we're ranking these now, but these are going to go in like from 25 to number one at the end of this. But guys, give me another one to put up there. Oh, Summer Pride Massacre. That's the one that was chosen, and Summer Pride Massacre does tend to be a favorite of mine. So that one is going to be. I almost put Psycho 2 on this list. I chose to leave Psycho 2 for the next list because I thought it might kind of overshadow some because I'm a real big fan of Richard Franklin. I'm a huge, massive fan of Psycho 2. But yeah, let's come here to the next list. We're putting Summer Party Massacre right up top, guys. I don't know if it's going to stay there, but it's going there. And with that being said, look at the titles on the screen and shout out another film that you want me to rank, and I will rank it. I still can't believe that I put Summer Party Massacre up at the top of the list. Should it be there, guys? Should it really be there? Uh, Probably not. Terror Train. Terror Train, Antoine, is one of the movies that scared me the most, and I hadn't even seen it. What's really great about Terror Train is that not only is this a movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and the incredibly cool Hart Buckner, but we also get magician David Copperfield. I'm not joking in this movie. And Terror Train is definitely going to be high on the list because not only do I love the film, I think it has one of the best concepts. So we're going to put it right there. Nightmare on Elm Street next. Well, Nightmare on Elm Street. We chose Nightmare on Elm Street 3 for this list. And number 3 is definitely going to be in the S category. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Dorm to Drip Blood. Here's one that was a bit of a unique take for me. So I'm going to be honest here. It's not a favorite of mine. It's I like it. I actually own 2 copies of it because I had one that didn't work. I would love to see it to New Bev. I dream going to New Bev. So Dorm the Drip Blood is going right into the B list. Oh, Tyler, there's a list of movies like pictures on the screen. We have to choose from those. We have 25 to do, and at this point, we have done 8 of those. So keep shouting them out, guys. And there's still some great. Oh god, my voice went for a second. We got Alone in the Dark, April Fool's Day, Cheerleader Camp, Curtains, Friday 13th Final Chapter, You Know You're Alone, Hell Night, Halloween 4, Night School, Sweet 16, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Student Bodies, House on Sorority Row. House on Sorority Row. House on Sorority Row, Ryan, is actually one of my favorite slasher movies of all time. I still have the 2-disc DVD edition put out by Scorpion, and it easily goes to the S tier. Huge fan of that. We got 2 here for Halloween 4. Another one that I have to put on the S tier because I just love that series. I know that they didn't follow it up with five, like five wasn't the follow up that we all wanted, although I do like Tina. Silent Night, Deadly Night, that goes right away. Um, for those that don't know, I have an affinity for Christmas horror. So you're going to see a lot of, when we're doing the other Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, not going to lie, it's probably going to get an A as well. I see Intruder mentioned there, and so let's go right to that one. Sorority Rose, you have good taste, man. Intruder is going to go to A tier. I really did like Intruder. I can't put it down on B because I think it's a clever concept. It was kind of like done again with Cornered. If you've seen that movie with Steve Gutenberg, but it's very much Intruder. Curtains, good choice, Tyler. Curtains is one that I am a huge fan of. It has one of the creepiest masks you are ever going to see in any slasher film, and so Curtains is going to. We're going to give the A tier. I know. So, I know a lot of you guys would probably put Curtains in the B tier because it is a slower film, but with the doll sequence and the sequence on the ice, that's enough to put it into that. Plus the girl from Black Christmas '74 is in there. You do see April Fool's Day, and April Fool's Day is definitely one that we are going to be putting right up on the S tier. I love me some April Fool's Day. I had this in my hands to buy the special edition Blu-ray when I was in Halifax. I think I'll pick it up when I go back because I regret not getting it. It's such a fantastic film with a cast that you never see again, but they just do an amazing job there. We still got a few left here. We got Alone in the Dark. We got Cheerleader Camp. We got Stage Fright. For those that weren't sure what that is. Hey there, DJ. Welcome, man. We do need to do something, man. Yeah, but when you got like the uncut version of Intruder, I think one of the cool things about Intruder, which may have helped it in a way, is that for those that like were reading Fangoria at the time, um, there was like the pictures of Intruder that didn't make the cut in the film. Cheerleader Camp, I really like this one. I think this one we got Betsy Russell in Cheerleader Camp. And maybe Leif Garrett. I can't remember if it's Leif Garrett or not, but I know Betsy Russell is in this one here. This one's on my wall. The poster was on my wall. How do I like it? It's really good, but I am going to put it into the B tier, um, but heavily leaning towards putting it into the A tier. Um, so this may change. That's one of the things about being here to the end. Things can change. We got Alone in the Dark, Stage Fright, Friday 13th, Final Chapter, Graduation Day, He Knows You're Alone, Hell Night, Maniac Cop, Night School, Sweet 16, and Student Bodies Left. What do you want ranked next? I did see that. I heard that's going out on Tubi, which I'm going to be honest, DJ, kind of makes me nervous. They tried to remake Terror Train once before, but it ended up being a movie that was completely different called Train. Hey there, Jamie. Welcome, man. I had to do slashers. With the upcoming In Search of Darkness 3 documentary, and I've liked In Search of Darkness 1 and 2. So I thought it'd be a great way to like, it's Halloween month, so great way to do slashers. Leaf Garrett is in. Perfect. Because it's a robot. It is fun. I'm tempted on putting it up higher. Yeah. We got one for Hell Knight here, and one for Sweet 16. So we'll do Sweet 16 first. And I'm going to put Sweet 16 in the A category. I was actually a huge fan of Sweet 16. It's one of those that I did when I went to watch it once earlier on, and I watched the first like few minutes of it. I kind of didn't get what I'm doing right now is I'm putting them into lists, and at the end of this couch, what I'll do after this is I'll put them in either Dustin Wild Command from order from 25 to number one, and I will do that. I'm nervous, but I'm hoping it's going to be good because I do like Terror Train, and it's one of those movies where you think, okay, this should never be remade, or this movie shouldn't be remade. But then you get a movie like Terror Train that's good, but still a bit flawed. The concept is so great, you can actually improve on it. So hopefully that's what they're going to do. Hell Knight. Hell Knight, Halo Creepy, easily gets an S. And I'll tell you why. Hell Knight is not only just a really good movie, but in a lot of slasher films, the one of the biggest complaints and the blames are that they do stupid people syndrome, where people have to make the worst decisions possible, or if they don't, the movie doesn't happen. In Hell Knight, someone gets away, someone just goes to the police station, so they actually do stuff, and it's definitely gets in the S list. What do you want next, guys? Our lists are growing. So shout out the title. We got Student Bodies, Night School, Maniac Cop, He Knows You're Alone, Graduation Day, Friday the 13th, the final chapter. We got Stage Fright from Michelle Soave, and Alone in the Dark. I know that Alone in the Dark is a favorite of Jamie's. Me and him have a big affinity for that film. Hollywood. Yeah, they did actually be working on Hell Knight. That's a great, by the way. The features on that are fantastic. Alone in the Dark gets the S tier. It just has to. It's such a great film, and it has so many great actors in it. You want to go with the Tom Hanks film next in Arcadia? Well, that one is He Knows You're Alone, and He Knows You're Alone is going to get. I really like it, and I love Tom Hanks' small part in it. He has a kind of a little monologue that stuck with me. But I've got to put it in the B. But remember, B is still good. Oh no, Lorna Dark does something very, very different. Like Jamie said there, he when he did Valentine, which by the way, and if there's anybody that doesn't own that movie yet, you should. It's fantastic. Um, that he put a lot of homages to from Alone in the Dark in Valentine. We're down to the final six. We've got Student Bodies. We've got Night School. Jamie, I recently saw you in the Halloween special that Piz did, which by the way you guys should definitely check out. Piz was channel, great channel. Jamie, I want to get you on here sometime soon, especially now that we've become the cult of cinema international. For now, we are doing this from Marrakesh. Oh, I never thought about that, but yeah, they definitely were homaging that. Maniac Cop. All right, so Maniac Cop is it's a classic. It's really fun. I very much love Maniac Cop. We got Bruce Campbell. We got a whole bunch of people in this one, and it's going in the A tier. I know a lot of people put this one into the S tier, and almost you never know at the end. I definitely will, man. It now that it's a bit more. I won't say laid back because it's been way busier than I expected here. We're still waiting for our stuff to come. Um, like literally today, the movers sent us an email and said, "Oh, getting a crate for you. Watching or whatever. I'm gonna say that just to be like to be fair. So we got Stage Fright here. We got Friday the 13th, Final Chapter, Graduation Day, Night School, and Student Bodies. Some fantastic films are still on this list to be ranked. So what do you want next? Be the person but that that says the next one. Try and figure out when you're saying what the next film is. Do you think I'm going to put it in the S tier, in the A tier, the B tier? Friday the 13th, Part 4, S tier? You're right. Graduation Day? Do you know what tier I'd put in, DJ? It's going in the A tier. I'm actually a huge fan of Graduation Day. And we're down to our final three before I have to rank these and put them in order. That's the hardest part of this, of doing this entire list. And that's where everything can change on a dime. We've got Stage Fright. We've got, which is our only like foreign entry, really. We've got Night School, and we've got Student Bodies. Death Valley is not on this list. I chose 25 films, mostly at random, and there's going to be more than one of these slasher tier lists. But this was my first one that I wanted to do tonight. There's another one that's going to be on my Patreon, on my Crimson Cult, and there may be a third one that comes out here as well. So there'll be 2 to 3 slasher tier lists overall. 80s was a massive time for slashers, so I really wanted to break it up a bit and not make it overwhelming. I don't want to do like a 50 or 100 movie list. 25 is a good way to start. So we got three: Stage Fright, Night School, and Student Bodies. What do you want next? What do you want ranked next? And when you say it, put the letter by it so that you can see if you guessed correctly when I rank it. Tenebrae is not on the list. We got like Stage Fright, Night School, and Student Bodies left out. Prowler should be S. And Prowler still has the chance to be S. And I actually agree with you. Because there's a high chance it's going to be up above a lot of these here. Because remember, at the end of the day, nothing's final until the number rankings come in. Things can go from an S to an A, things can go from a B to an A, things can go from an A to an S. But I can't rank another one until one of you guys decide which one you want ranked. So somebody come out and say, we got Stage Fright, Night School, and Student Bodies left to do. What do you want ranked next? Stage Fright, Night School, Student Bodies. You guys have been so good, like putting ones out. Don't leave me hanging on the last three. Student Bodies. Thank you, Anton. Easily an A. Student Bodies is Center Arcadia have a fantastic game. Thank you so much for staying in for so long. Easy and S because I knew you had to go, and the fact that you stayed here for this long, I really appreciate it. Oh, Student Bodies would never get a B for me, DJ. It's one of my favorite films of all time because everybody likes horsehead bookends. Stage Fright. Stage Fright gets an A. Actually, no. Stage Fright gets an S. You got to see Bodies. Stage Fright scared the hell out of me. It scared the hell out of my better half, Jamie. It's one of the movies that we bonded on. And Night School, I want to give it an A, but I'm going to give it a B. And now is the big time. Now is where things go from goes topsy turvy. I love horsehead bookends. I want to kill the kid with the gum. I know all the lines from Student Bodies. I remember back in the day, like it wasn't him, but they had like a rumor going around that it's a famous comedian and famous actor actually, because he acted on Law and Order SVU, was the voice of the breather. He wasn't. All right, so here we go. Looking at all these here, in 25th place, Ooh, this is where it gets interesting, guys. Because this is where things change. Is Night School in 25th place? No, no, of course it's not. Night School is not in 25th place. Do you know what's in 25th place? The Dorm to Drip Blood. An interesting film. I like Wacko, but Student Bodies like edges it out for me. Wacko is one of those that grew on me. I'm not sure if you listened to it or not, but on the Just of This podcast, uh, Wacko was one of the movies that I got to review on there with Brian Sauer. So yeah, very interesting to check out. So due to its nihilism, a fun little film, but it's going in 25th place, and in 24th place. And I'll honestly, even though I truly love the film, I've got to rank this based on 80 slashers. And that, there's a lot of great ones on here. I really made it hard for himself with a lot of great ones. But I'm going to put, yeah, not gonna be, although I love it, You Know You're Alone, let's put that one in 24th place for at least right now. Do I leave Night School in 23rd place? I think in 23rd place, we're going to go for a shocker here. And we are going to put Intruder down into 23rd place. I know. Actually, I'm going to put Night School a little bit above Intruder. We're going to leave Cheerleader Camp exactly where it's at. Is the Prowler, is Prom Night lesser than everything on this list up here? No. Prom Night, for the song alone, is going to go up here. Is it better than Graduation Day? We'll get to that. Is it better than Maniac Cop? Is it better than Sweet 16? A lesser known one. Is it better than Curtains? I love Curtains. I think it's a fantastic film. But Curtains is going to go right before Graduation Day. And I hate to do this, guys, especially since it's such a beloved film, but Maniac Cop is going to go right there after Prom Night. And a shocking twist, Maniac Cop goes down there. We got Sweet 16, Sleepaway Camp, The Prowler, Terror Train, and My Bloody Valentine here. I think Sweet 16 is in a really good place where it is right now, but it's everything up here exactly where it needs to be. There is the rub, as he would say, as Shakespeare would say. This is a pretty solid list right up along here, I gotta say. So we're gonna leave Sweet 16 exactly where it is. We are going to take Terror Train and put it, because Terror Train, we said, it's a good movie, but it can definitely be improved on, and put it right down there after Sleepaway Camp. And Sleepaway Camp is going to beat it out. I love Prowler. I love My Bloody Valentine. Both of those are fantastic films. So I am going to leave them exactly where they are for right now and go to the top list. We have Stage Fright here, Student Bodies, Friday 13th Final Chapter, Alone in the Dark, Hell Night, April Fool's Day, Silent Night, Deadly Night. All these are really great, but Silent Night, Deadly Night, let's be honest. As much as I love it, we're going to put it there. I'm going to, when it comes to Stage Fright, it's still sticking up high there for me for right now. Student Bodies is still staying high on the list. This is an extremely hard list. A Slumber Party Massacre will fit right down here just before Student Bodies, even though I love it. Uh, Friday 13th Final Chapters here. It is a seminal slasher film. Sleepaway Camp be top five. It's very hard. When you got a list like this, Marco, it's really, really hard. And until the last one is in, things can change. Um, right now, Alone in the Dark over Hell Night. Oh, it's hard. I mean, Alone in the Dark's a fantastic film. But Hell Night's a fantastic slasher film. So we have that there as well. April Fool's Day was done extremely well. Halloween 4 is a great Halloween film, but I don't know if it's going to be the top one. I think Halloween 4 is going to go down shock and a shocking twist. Halloween 4 goes down here, and we put Alone in the Dark right up here. So where does Friday the 13th go? It's one of the best in the series. Uh, Definitively, it is a fantastic film. So let's look at the top five, because that's where things are going to be interesting. I love Hell Night. I love Alone in the Dark. This is the top 25 slasher film list, though. So we have to take all of that into consideration. You see House on Sorority Row here? A lot of people would have like bypassed this and put it down into the A tier. I think House on Sorority Row is extremely underrated. So we are going to take Friday the 13th, final chapter. We are definitely going to put it above Hell Night and above April Fool's Day, even though I like them both. We're going to put Alone in the Dark right here above Hell Night. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street films. And it's got that Dokken song, which, trust me, some of you guys right now, you're singing Dream Warriors. I know you are. You got it in your head. It's hard to get out of there. Friday the 13th, Fun Chapter is amazing. And I think now Thom Matthews is in part 6. He's a great actor, but my least favorite Tommy Jarvis, because he never plays it like Tommy Jarvis. Not his fault. He didn't direct it. He didn't write it. But Tommy Jarvis in part 4 and 5 are these like super nerdy trauma induced characters. And Tommy Jarvis in part 6 is a fun ass character, but he's just a bit too fun. So, here we go. In 25th place, The Dorm That Dripped Blood. Remember, on a list of 25 of great slasher films, there's no bad place to be. In 24th place, it's He Knows You're Alone. But it's actually not, because you know what? Last minute switcheroo. And He Knows You're Alone is going to get up there because I just really like it. So, in 24th place is Intruder, a fantastic little film that I really enjoy. In 23rd place is Night School with Rachel Ward. In 22nd place is Betsy Russell and Leif Garrett in Cheerleader Camp. It's a really, really fun film. In 21st place is He Knows You're Alone, one that I recently bought, so I may be a little biased on that one. And in 20th place, we have Maniac Cop. I told you, got to be here because things can change on the last minute. Some people do the rookie mistake of leaving before they know. Sure. In 19th place, we have in 19th place, we have Curtains. 18th place, we have Prom Night. 17th place, we've got Graduation Day. In 16th place, we have Sweet 16. In 15th place, we have Terror Train. No, there's no way that Terror Train is going to go under, even though it's one of my favorites. As a slasher film, we are going to put you right here. In 16th place is Sweet 16. In 15th place is Silent Night, Deadly Night. In 14th place is Stage Fright. In 13th place is Terror Train. In 12th place is Sleepaway Camp. In 11th place is The Prowler. In 10th place is My Bloody Valentine, one that I actually really enjoy. In 9th place, we have The Incredible Student Bodies. Here, just to make you guys so that you're good on it. Here we go. In 8th place is Slumber Party Massacre. In 7th place is Halloween 4. In 6th place is Alone in the Dark, almost hitting the top 5. In 5th place is Hell Night with Linda Blair. Highly underrated if you haven't seen it. In 4th place is The Incredible April Fool's Day. In 3rd place is the movie that I almost put in 1st place. I'm not going to lie, it almost made it. House on Sorority Row, which I really recommend that you all check out. In the 2nd place, we have Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. And in 1st place, it made it. Crispin Glover's dancing, having an incredible cast, the introduction of Tommy Jarvis, Joseph Zito's directing, and the great performance of Jason by the late Ted White put Friday the 13th, the final chapter, in top place. Even though I'm still conflicted, and I think House on Sorority Row could easily get it. Let me know what your thoughts are. And by the way, in my Twitter, I have this entire list, so you can click on it, go straight to Tiermaker, make your own list. If you do that, tweet the list out, and if you do so, just at me and at Tiermaker, and the people that like inspired this thing, which I wish they knew I existed. Something called In Search of Darkness, part 3. I think Deborah Foreman is one of those people that inspired Christ. She was just so she was so likable, from Valley Girl to My Chauffeur to April Fool's Day. She is so good. Sundown, I forgot about Sundown Josephine. We're going to judge the top 2 there. Hopefully you had more than the top 2. And if there's ones here, by the way, that you have not checked out or you have not seen, please take the time to watch some of these here. Thank you for the like. I really appreciate that. Please check out some of these here that you may not have yet seen. It's Halloween week, and it's the 20th, so you got 11 more days to check out some of these films. And if there's some here that you're kind of curious about, shout them out now. Ask me questions on them. These are movies that I have seen quite a while. Death Becomes Her is fantastic. They're remaking that one, actually, with I think Anne Hathaway is in the new one, Death Becomes Her. But the original Death Becomes Her it really is a classic. It's just so funny. For those that were on they're on the Crimson Cult CCI, then basically make sure to check it out, because we did a horror cast today with a new horror cast coming up in the very near future. One with my better half actually going to be in it. So make sure you check that out. Because check me. I will definitely check me in about 15 minutes. I'm charging my phone, so I'll make sure that I do. A lot of these movies would be on Tubi. If you're a streaming person, like, you can definitely check them out on Tubi. I would recommend if you have the ability to get them on like some. Well, watch them on Tubi and then see which ones that you want to own. But there's some great ones here. Things like Sweet 16, I think was put up by Code Red, which I think Kino re-released this one. Um, some of the other titles here. What should I watch some more? Takesha Mikai's Edition, Single Weight Female, or John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. I really love Edition, but In the Mouth of Madness is one of my favorite. I think it's an extremely underrated Carpenter film. So, Josephine, if you are a fan of Lovecraftian horror, In the Mouth of Madness for sure. But all three films are good. Last five movies I watched. Well, I actually last five. The last one I watched was Smile, 2022 film, and I reviewed it for Horrorcast. And I watched Halloween Ends, which I did a long sort of like initial review take on it here on the channel. It was around 13 minutes long, so check it out, creepy. Aside from that, I was in the process of watching, oh God, for my for the Crimson Cult, because I'm doing an NSFY video about Kay Parker, the actress that recently passed away. She was an adult film actress. I didn't really watch, but not watch. I did have Taboo on, but with a commentary. So I guess that was kind of like half watching. So that kind of counts, right? And just like making notes. I didn't realize she was 78. Um, oh, definitely. Out of the ones that if you're a really big fan of slashers, like Student Bodies for sure, like of 80 slashers, especially Eddie. Dorm to Drip Blood is good. It's the most nihilistic of the films. It's very dark, and its ending is extremely dark. Cheerleader Camp is a lot of fun. It definitely leans more towards the comedy. And Sweet 16 is the most mystery out of all these slashers. Dorm the Drip Blood, you don't have to guess who the killer is. It's just known right away. Cheerleader Camp, there's a bit of mystery to that one. Student Bodies, the mystery is ridiculous. And Sweet 16 actually has a good mystery to it. There's a good payoff to the killer reveal in Sweet 16. But the best of those four, in my opinion, is Student Bodies. But if you want a straightforward slasher, then go for Sweet 16. I'm gonna move my computer over, so just give me a second to do that. I just gotta get my desk so you guys can see me. The kitty cat is sleeping. For those, if it hasn't been a while, Jamie, we have both are fantastic. I don't know if I can choose between Vampire or Nosferatu, but I'm going to go with Nosferatu. This is our house in Marrakesh. I did a tour on the Crimson Cult. Behind us is our I guess China cabinet is what you call it. But we're going to be looking at a few different things here tonight. And let me just grab my phone because that should be charged right now. And I have right now, so I'm using one of my desks here. This is kind of like the lean-to desk, so it's good for writing on. And over there, well, it's a bit. Tell you what, I'll show you something. Come on. Over here, well, there's the cat tree. Let's see if you can see it down there. And I'm doing a tech talk on this, but right behind me is the TV that we chose, which I've been talking about for the channel. So not easy to see with me there, but uh-huh. You can see up here as well. We ended up getting the LG 65-inch OLED C1, which I'll talk a bit more on the tech talk I'm doing tomorrow. Terrifier 2, I haven't seen that one yet. Halloween Ends, Fright Night 4K, nice, for real. Poltergeist 4K and Return of the Living Dead 4K. Some great 4K stuff right there. I recently picked up the Alligator 4K and Alligator 2, the next mutation. So I'll be once my player gets here, I'll be able to watch those. Unless I can convince him to like go out and like get me a get a PlayStation 5 or something like that, so I can actually watch 4Ks. Trust me, I've thought about it. One of the great things about here in Morocco, that you want to find a PlayStation, they're all over the place. Like nowhere in the where I live at, where they, but they're in Morocco, they were all over the place. So at the end of my videos, what I like to do is kind of give a Q&A type of thing. Now, and so if there's any questions, any things you want to ask about like upcoming videos, about like movies, about kind of like my take on certain things, about this whole move thing, now's the time you can actually ask. Return Limited 4K came yesterday. I'm so jealous of you guys. Have you ever seen who gets slapped? I haven't actually, but I did see a commercial for it, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Terrifier 2 either. I do want to see it because the people that worked on Terrifier 2 really have a serious like love of the filmmaking aspect. Now, the original Terrifier, I thought the guy that played Art the Clown was amazing. Story for Terrifier, not so much. The gore was good. Art was the guy who played Art made it. He made the film. So I'm hoping like more All Hallows Eve, but with the guy that played Art. Hey, because in the original one, do you have any regular photo albums with me? Not with me right here. Hey, can I show you? Can I show you off? Can I show you off? Here. Just gonna take you a second. Miss Lordy B. She just had some food. You can go. Don't worry. Has my sleep cycle adjusted? Well, let me put it to you this way. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Do I look tired to you? Not quite yet. I don't think either one of our sleep cycles have adjusted. No, it is different here in Morocco. One thing I will tell you right now is people do tend to eat later. They ramp up the gore more than the first one. Oh my God. Because we had the hacksaw scene, man. That was intense. Thank you. We actually rescued her. She is literally a street cat. And we were going to the store just down the street from us on the corner, literally the corner store, to pick up a few odds and ends grocery-wise that we hadn't gotten. I had to get some new toothpaste. And we saw her there as we walked by. We went into the store, and when we came out, she started to follow us back. And she let out her little cute squeaky meows. So we got like closer to our condo, and Hin said, "Well, I'm gonna go in and get some of the cat food and bring it outside." There's a story behind that. The first night that we got here, we there was a cat, and we found out from his sister, one of his sisters, that the cat was it seemed to be a street cat. He wasn't very well taken care of. He was very skinny, um, about a year and a half to 2 years old. Have a wonderful evening there, Josephine. And a black and white cat, beautiful cat. So we brought him in and we bought him some food. We even got him a couple toys and let him kind of get used to us. So around, we sat down and we plugged. We started watching a Heart to Heart, and after like the third episode, I started to get tired and I started to fall asleep. So apparently, in the time that I fell asleep and woke up, which was about half an hour, um, the cat actually did have an owner that and came and knocked on our door for the cat. So it was not our cat. We of course we had to give the cat back. So we did, and with that being said, this cat still to this day comes to our door every day or two. Thanks, Marco. You have a great evening, man. I'm sorry if my cat story is like, but I just want to get like do a little bit of talking there. Excellent, considering the stuff that you do, man. Wow. Okay, I'm definitely gonna look at this tonight. I truly appreciate that, man, because I need to up my game when it comes to this stuff. James, this is why I need like friends like you. That's why. For those that don't know, if you haven't caught on to the Jamie B on here, that if you're newer, this is Jamie Blanks. If you've seen the movie Urban Legend, a fantastic '90s slasher film that for me was one of the things that really revitalized my love of slashers. But the movie they did that truly like made me feel that slashers as an '80s slasher film could still exist in the '90s was a movie called Valentine, which he also directed. Also, got to do a Storm Warning, which I truly love, and the Long Weekend, right? I gotta get. I never get the title right, but I don't want to say the other title because I know you get mad when I say the other title. So, okay. But it's the which was a task in and of itself because it's a classic film of kind of man against nature, or is it? Anyway, so we had cat food here because of the cat that we had the night before. So we were going to bring some cat food out to this little one right here, and she followed us right up to our door. And we opened the door and we let her in, and we haven't looked back. She has a virus which is prevalent in cats, unfortunately, around here. Kind of think of like the that like the people virus thing, like the C word, with except from the cat's aspect. Oh, there we go. We killed an ant. See, dead ant. I say this is the first ant I've seen since I came to inside Morocco. Now I saw some outside. I'll go eating that. I'll get rid of it. I want you getting sick, but I appreciate the hunting. All right, where was I? Okay, it's a virus that's prevalent in cats right here. So you had to be very careful. She's been on steroids, and we have like medication for her eye and for her nose because she gets stuffed up and congested. Over the weekend, she got so stuffed up and congested that she did not have the ability to eat. We had to actually force feed her, and for 2 days, and we were petrified. It's the middle of the night, and she is like me right now. She's running around like crazy. Customized with text and a music score that suits. Thank you so much. I will really appreciate that. I'm going to peek at something right now. Here it comes, guys. The sad little trolley people. Do you ever wonder if anybody actually hits on those links? God, that would be stupid. Oh, there's some cool stuff here. Anyway, with all that being said, and her brave attacking of an ant, uh, I want to thank all of you so much for coming in tonight into the Cultism International. We have taken this in a completely new, uniquely cool direction, I think, and you're going to be seeing a lot more on both channels. You've already started to see it recently on the if you're a Patreon supporter, if you're a supporter on here, then you're going to get to see me and a lot on here, doing a lot more live, a lot more pre-tape stuff. Apparently I'm going to have some snazzier stuff thanks to my good friend Jamie, and I got to make sure that I say this in the right spot. So keep an eye out for that as well. My name is Aaron. I want to thank you so much for joining me here in the Cultism International. And if you've yet to check out our Patreon, the Crimson Cult, definitely do so because there's some good stuff coming up, especially when I hear my better half talk. Check out New World Podcast. They do a really good job. And make sure you check out just the Disc Podcast as well. There are so many great people on here, by the way. There are people that are just that are taught that are a lot of people that are talking here are great creators in and of their own right. Jamie Blanks, watch out for the next thing that he works on because you know it's going to be fantastic. And I will see you soon. Have a wonderful evening right here, or morning, I guess, for me, in the Call to Cinema.